Hello everyone, this is Jimmy Cultists, and today we're going to be working on part 6 of our turn-based RPG combat videos. Now you're going to want to stamp out a shape, make it red. Today we're going to be working on 2 separate subjects because they're both rather brief. At least I think they will be brief. Reduce the detail of this block. Make it invisible and non-collidable and whatever else it is you want to do with it. Place a microchip on the block. And really you could have this be, labeled anything you want. But what we're doing is making a damage displayer, like how much damage you do when you attack a creature. Place a timeline. Open it up. We're going to stamp this down for now, but we're not going to record anything on it just yet. And we're going to put out a text displayer. Actually, no, scratch that. Not a text displayer, a number displayer. And we're going to leave it at 0. Set it to in scene. Set it to always face camera and always on top. Make it large. Needs to be fairly visible. Now we're going to input a number just so we can see the text style. We're going to turn off the shadow border and the show shadow settings and the show text box settings. We're going to make this number white. That's pretty good. And here's what we're going to be doing with this. We're going to be taking this action recorder and just shaking this a little bit. Don't use precise move when you're doing this. Just shake it a little bit. Alright, that should do it. Let's try that one more time. Let's reset it and retake. Retake. That should be good. Set it to keep changes. That should do nicely. And you can set it to loop also. It won't really matter. Actually, maybe just, we'll have like an initial shake and then it slows down. I think that will be fine. Next, put out a keyframe. And what this is going to do is it's going to select the number we want. And since it's a damage modifier, it's going to be a negative number. Like 25, for instance. We're going to see how much damage this fellow does so that we can have it be accurate. He does 25 damage, so that's definitely accurate. We're going to set it to 25. Set this to linear blend. Turn it up a notch. And then we're going to place a little destroyer right down here so that this thing, when it's done playing, will just destroy itself automatically. And we're going to go over here to where our fellow has his attacks. And this little thing here, the damage mod, is going to emit this little box. Now the positioning is something that might be a bit finicky, but we'll figure that out by attacking something. I didn't see it at all, so something must not be working. It might be too high or too far away from the player. Let's try more over here. That's better. Also, make it a little bit smaller might be a good idea. Pull it in closer to him. Now let's try it. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think that works just fine. Now, the other order of business is we're going to be adding a ranged attack to Holmes Fujita, or Fujita, I should say. So let's go ahead and go over here to our RPG system. Open this up. I'm going to go all the way to attack. You remember this P2 chip we stamped out. We're going to go ahead and connect that. And we could just go ahead and also just copy this out, since it has all the relays and such that we're going to need anyway. Take the output from this, connect it right in there. That should be easy. And take the X output, of course, as always, on this chip. Connect it to the first attack. And these are going to allow for our attack selection. So just go ahead and take the A output, connect it to this, B output from the selector and connect it to that. And he should be able to attack now. We're going to test that later. And we might also go into our text and rename his attack from something other than slash. We'll call it Gatling Gun. I'm going to move it in just a little bit, make it nice and neat. And we're going to rename his second attack to Grenade, although we won't be doing that just yet. Okay, Grenade. There we go. Now I think we're all ready to program his first attack. Open up the timeline. It's going to be a similar length, and it's all going to be, you know, it's going to be relatively the same. It might be a little longer is the only difference. We're going to leave this switch intact that resets that counter. It's going to be necessary. But we're not going to use any of these followers since it's a ranged attack. And we're not going to use this either. And I don't think we're going to be using the timeline. Alright. Keep the cam attack tag. That's going to be actually useful. We're going to stamp out a new timeline. And all this is going to do is shut off his idle animation. Move this ahead here. And let's do like a little animation for him getting ready to fire. This will be his aiming animation. We'll try to get it as dead center as we possibly can. relatively. Now, I'm not going to bother to animate his actual bullets flying out, but that is something you could do, and it wouldn't be that difficult. Alright, so that's the aiming animation, and this is going to be his firing animation, so we're going to make it red so we can tell the difference. A little less power on that, I think. You don't want it to have too much, because if he's going to be jerking around real fast, and that should be good. Gonna make it red again. And we're just gonna go ahead and dupe out a row of these. Pull this ahead just a bit. And make an animation for when he's done. Then we'll have him go back to his idle. And we're going to pull these little ding things in here to kind of smooth his idle transition. I don't know what these are called, the fade in, I believe. Adjust the fade in. And we're going to add some damage, of course. Some health modifiers. And we're going to make them damage the enemy by 2, because he's going to be firing quite a bit of this, and you don't want it to have too much damage output unless you want this fellow to be overpowered. Which is an option. There's nothing that says you can't make your RPG character overpowered necessarily. Kind of depends on their drawbacks and weaknesses. Make it so he only damages foe and collidable, both non-collidable and collidable, and both invisible and invisible. Now this might not be so important, but later on it could be. Oh, and don't forget to set to per hit and zone, of course. Now we're going to go ahead and copy these out. I think at least 6 of them should do. And we're going to emit another damage modifier. There may be actually a more efficient way of doing this damage modifier method, but this is just the way that I decided to do it for this. You could possibly have an ever-modifying number and reuse the same box, but you know, this is what I prefer to do. And we're going to take it down to -2, because that's pretty much what the damage output for his shots are going to be. Set it to emit once, of course. And the lifetime can be maximum, but I think I'll make it 5, just in case something goes wrong, it'll still destroy itself. And that should do good. Now just put this, put it relatively near the end of his firing line, maybe about here. It should be pretty visible if we're doing this right. Now there's one other thing we're going to want to do, and that is going to move these up just a tad. And we're going to put down a lock-on, look-at rotator, but it is going to be a lock-on rotator, honestly. Set all these to maximum. Set it to go after target. And turn the Y dampening down to 0. Then put out a gyroscope. And we're going to set it to align all axes, which means it will always reset to this position no matter what. And we're going to want to test the position, so I'm going to stamp it out here real quick. Alright. This makes him reset so that he's facing that direction no matter what. And that's pretty much what we desire. Now let's give it a test. Hopefully everything will run smoothly. Gatling gun. Oh. It is running smoothly. However, there's something else we're going to have to modify. Since it's a separate character, he'll need different camera attacks. We put out a P1 cam earlier, but we're going to put out a P2 for our friend. We're also going to turn the power off to both of these. And the way it works is when a character is selected, then you'll be able to access them. Not sure if our character select... Yeah, I think it's in here. That's select action. Where is select character? Does this select the character? It selects the target. Here is character select. Alright, so just go in here. Basically, player 1 is Sean Spicer, he'll be powered on. Player 2 is Holmes Vegeta, he'll be powered on later. And we're going to have to make new camera attacks for Holmes. Since he's ranged, his camera attacks are going to be very different from Sean Spicer's. They're not going to have all that zooming camera action. I think I'll just turn it around a little bit. It might look cooler that way. And then we'll just have it cut. And hopefully this is the entire length of his animation. We might have to lengthen it out if it's not. Let's go ahead and test it. Oh, he doesn't seem to be facing the right direction. It's probably a very simple issue, just had to stay upright and pull this arrow to the front. Very simple mistake, easily corrected. Attack, Gatling gun. Although I'm not sure why he's facing that direction, that's kind of strange. Let's just leave it on all the way till that particular instance. Maybe that will correct the issue. Also, I feel like he's a tad slow, so we might speed this up a little bit. And our damage modifiers don't seem to be hitting the target, so let's make them longer. And he's firing too early, actually. Maybe I put the speed too high. Anyway, let's see if his damage modifier is reaching. It's not quite reaching, so let's just sort of widen it a tad, not too much. That should do fine. And we'll just copy it out. It should be nice and easy. These things are tricky because you gotta keep timing in mind. And I want to modify this. It's not highly necessary, but I think we should have this come out quicker. And maybe emit a few more than just one. Set the lifetimes lower. About 8. We'll see how that does. And we're going to kind of turn off the smoothness of this a tad. It's a little too smooth. Yeah, he's shooting at his friends. That's not good. Now, why is he resetting to that direction? I think... Let's just turn it off right about here and see what happens. If we pull it back, he may not do that weird correction. And we're going to modify the camera just a little bit, because I'm not really satisfied with how that... Let's pull the camera over here. Alright, let's try it now. Again, let's check this. Another solution might be to just pull this forward. Let's see if he's set. If he got... Nope, he doesn't have anything weird going on there. Thought he might have some issues, but... Now the problem with that is he's shooting people he's not supposed to. Let's just delete a couple of these. Yeah, that seems pretty good. We're going to pull this ahead, though. I think it should be a little longer, kind of give him some time to go back into position. Also, the camera angle on that could be a lot cooler, I think. Minor stuff, but it really kind of adds to the what do you call it? Makes it look cooler. Let's go ahead and get all his other cameras ready, because he's going to be attacking more enemies than this. Actually, let's go ahead and... I want to keep some of these camera settings from before. Get rid of these. I like the length of that. I think that's pretty good. Pretty good. Now let's go ahead and copy it for the third camera. Alright, let's give it a little playthrough, move this ahead. I feel like the animation and the gun could be a little better, but all things considered, I'd say that's pretty good. That's all we have for today. I hope you found this helpful in the construction of ranged attacks and these little damage modifiers. As I said before, there's another way you could do that, but I don't think that's really necessary right now to explain that. This creation will be remixable after this video comes out, so if you want to mess around or use it in any way you see fit, feel free to do so. Check the description for information on how to find it in Dreams. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And if you want to support us, check the links in the description to our art pal and our coffee. You can also follow me on Twitter if you like Dreams content and unique and entertaining takes. In the meantime, goodbye.